Hello and welcome to the very first instalment of Caesarstone's webinar series. My name is Alice Blackwood, editor of InDesign magazine and the daily digital news platform InDesign Live. It is my pleasure to be facilitating this webinar today. Before I begin, in the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. I pay my respect to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. Today sees the introduction of a series of webinars brought to you by Caesarstone that aims to inform and inspire you, the design community, on the changing world of surfaces for residential and commercial projects. Like many in the design community, Caesarstone is transforming its entire production and design process to ensure the protection of our planet is at the forefront of its modus operandi. Over the next 12 months, this series of webinars will introduce the new Caesarstone, whereby new sustainable surfaces will be added to the existing quartz collection. In today's session, we'll be introducing Caesarstone's revolutionary new porcelain collection, 17 surfaces that are outstanding in sustainability and versatility of function, not to mention their aesthetic appeal and longevity. You will also meet Caesarstone's Pebbles range, a series of sustainable surfaces shaped by nature. So this session will run for 35 minutes with a special address by Lee Edelcourt, famed trend forecaster and long-time collaborator with Caesarstone. Following Lee's fabulous presentation, and I have it on good information that it is fabulous, I'll rejoin you to briefly reflect on the changing lifestyles of Australians and some of the key influences shaping the shift, and what that looks like from an interior and exterior living perspective. We'll then hear from Caesarstone's General Manager Marketing, Bridie York, who will give us a comprehensive introduction to Caesarstone's Pebbles and Porcelain range. But first, to the presentation we've all been waiting for. Let me introduce you to the famed trend forecaster, publisher, humanitarian, educator and curator, Lee Edelcourt. Lee's thought-provoking design tools, writings and podcasts have become increasingly influential at a time when she's become regarded as an activist and champion for change. Lee and her studio have been collaborating with Caesarstone for over a decade. This close relationship spans design development, strategy and communication. Beyond providing important trend information about the future of interiors and architectural materials, Lee has inspired Caesarstone to introduce a collection of concretes, darker colours and more striking veins. Helping Caesarstone predict the latest colours and finishes, Lee has reinforced the company's position as a design leader by putting creativity and innovation first. So, let's hear from Lee now.
Hello friends, architects, designers, people concerned with aesthetic and beauty and our environment. I'm so happy to be with you, although on video. But I'm happy because I haven't been in your country for a while, as you haven't been somewhere else, possibly also. And so it's great to get together again. That's really a cadeau for all of us. I'm here in my kitchen, which is part of a beautiful house on the countryside on the Atlantic Ocean. This is my refuge. This is the place where I reconnect with nature. This is the place where I come to my senses. This is the place I need to be with lots of friends and celebrate. This is a great part of my life and became bigger recently because of the pandemic, when I spent a longer period here, which was fantastic because I discovered nature more intimately and I actually had time to do a lot of study, and so my work, I think, has become more important even through this. The kitchen, I think, for all of us, as you know, has become so important in our lives, sort of an enormous jump from the little kitchens we had in the 50s and 60s to now the vast space we have for our entertainment and for our feeding purposes. I love cooking, so more and more the kitchen takes place in my life. And I love all the materials related to the kitchen, of course. The metal, the porcelain, the stone, the marble, the wood, and even some textile. I even have a little curtain in my kitchen. So the big question, of course, for everybody is what will happen to the center of the house, our kitchen. And it's not easy to forecast because recently the kitchen has made such an enormous jump, has become so important, so emotional. People have been sacrificing big rooms to make their kitchen that I don't think that the kitchen can get any bigger. I mean, that would be surprising. The only thing I'm sure of is that we will work less in the kitchen because we will work more from home. So definitely people will create working spaces. Already now there's new housing where working space is integrated. So this means that we are liberating the kitchen from being also our office. The kitchen therefore will become the canteen of our home office. So the kitchen will become more about food and cooking and hospitality, and a bit less functional maybe therefore, so we can have even more liberty in the creation of the kitchen. We can bring in a couch, we can bring in some lazy chairs. Some people are speculating about even wanting to sort of sleep in the kitchen because it's so cozy. So I believe it's becoming more like farmer kitchens in the old days, which would encompass all of these things. So the kitchen will have new materials, but also we will continue, of course, wood and metal and marble and stone. But the newest material is really porcelain, which is an innovation because it is even more strong, it's even more heat resistant, it's even more able to take all sorts of guises. So it can be metal, it can be marble, it can be rough stone, it can have all these different lives. And it's also through its materialization somehow refined, so you can do shelving, you can do cupboards, you can do walls, so it's very versatile as well. Of course, always all the horizontal surfaces as well, first of all. My guess is that this material will not just stay in the kitchen. You see, I think this material will go into furniture and maybe into other rooms, like water type rooms soon, because it has such an enormous potential. For the designers and the architects, it's so important because it can be sort of used in all these new guises. So it's sky is the limit in a way. It can be like a sky if you want it. So this material, this new material is really high-tech. It's high-tech porcelain because of its functionality and the way it's made. And it's therefore also a hybrid because it is very, very high-tech, but it doesn't look high-tech. It can look completely warm and even cuddling and rustic. So this is what makes it such a sort of wonderful new matter. Now we are in my summer office, and I want to tell you a little bit how we work together, because that's what you ask yourself, I guess. We first start always with forecasting, because that is the core of my knowledge and my business, and what I do, and it helps me to do everything else, whether it's design or curating or education. Always at the beginning is this forecasting. So we will have forecasting books, forecasting presentations, and we will show this and share this together with almost everybody in the team. And this is then also a big discussion, of course, about what is the most important, what is really confirmed for their development and so on. So at one point, after working several years, we felt the urge to propose to make a book together with the marketing department. because the food became so important to the world as a tendency. The kitchen became so dominant that we felt it was very nice to make a book which was called Form Follows Food. And this was essential because this is the moment when we really started to introduce very strongly the concrete kitchens. What I really love about this client of mine, of us, of our team, Caesarstone, we work together already for a decade, which is wonderful. We have very often long-time clients, which I like because you become family, is that we are actually working like a family with their design team and their marketing teams, not just in Israel, but also in the world. So we have a very close connection. And I think this is all because it has been a kibbutz, it's still a kibbutz in its organizational form. So it's a truly democratic society where people also vote together for new colors or for a new vein or for a new texture. So it's very cute because everybody has to defend his point of view from the Australian market and the American market and so on. Of course, American market is a little bit more functional, loves white. Australian market is very much more avant-garde, was the first to embrace concrete, obviously. And so it's very nice to see how that sort of comes to agreements with a bit of in-house fighting, but very gentle fighting. And it's very beautiful to see this because in most companies, decisions are taken by a center person and they listen hardly to other opinions. So it's very rewarding for us to work with a company which has the right human-centered organization. That is very vital for us. Obviously, nature is becoming more and more vital to our survival, as is our soil. And every day we find more evidence that this is our survival mechanism. This is why we need to be careful about the products which are from the earth, how we give them back to the earth, and how we can honor the earth and respect the earth in this process. Therefore, recycling using matter which is already used, which is done in the porcelain trade, can be a very good idea. And we need to continue to find ways to somehow produce better for planet, people, and the environment. We are all, I think, working on it so much, and we're finding new principles every day. But one of the most important principles, which many people forget, is the idea about a very strong visionary design, which is functional, which is beautiful, which is made to last. So I think the modernism of materials like porcelain are interesting because it helps architects and designers to envision kitchens and other surfaces which will have a very, very long lifespan. So this already means that we are moving into a modernist philosophy of a great design having a great, great influence on our lives, as well through our aesthetics. One of my major forecasts of the last 20 years, I would say, is the revival of gardening. And now, after our pandemic, this has become even more true. And especially the idea of gardening your own food, which has become super popular. Also in cities, also on balconies, everywhere. So to go from food to your own table, it's very interesting now to work outside, to clean outside, to cook outside. And this is where outside kitchens are becoming so popular. Outside kitchens are getting roomier, there's more space, there's more ways of cooking as well. It's not just barbecue. Barbecue is only part of this. And this brings us actually to outdoor living. So It's like you can just, sleep outside, maybe have a cabana, maybe have a beautiful glass house, maybe have a beautiful folly, cook in the folly crazy food or crazy drinks, have fun. So I think that the whole outdoors, which is a whole new category of products for Caesarstone in quartz and porcelain, is going to be super popular and needed, because we will almost bring the life from the inside to the outside. And they say the garden is the new room, the new salon, the new kitchen. So yeah, let's just be prepared to do a lot of design in that direction. Well, to speak about the trends of the future in today's environment is not easy, as you can understand. There's so many things going on. There's so many havoc and chaos and so many things we don't know, that it's my profession is getting really dire. But I'm trying. And so what I do know is that because of what we have gone through and what we are still going through, the pandemic and everything else, we will have an enormous change in society. I mean, radical change. It's pretty interesting also, because what's happening is that everything is disrupted. In the beginning, everybody thought we go back to business as usual. Not at all. Actually, we are in a new area. We are in a new world. We are in the post-pandemic world where we have learned how to live differently, and that has a lasting effect. So the most important part of this trend is the great migration. Massive amounts of people have left the urban centers and the cities to go to smaller cities and to rural areas. Massive. Sometimes as a second house, but often also as the house guarding pied-à-terre in the city. So we are sort of inversing roles between urban and rural. And what happens therefore is that we are finding a hybrid between urban and rural. And suddenly design, fashion as well as design, are a bit of both. And they meet in the middle, and it's a beautiful new domain where there is countrified ideas, but that are so well managed and made that it's also very sophisticated. So it's really the meeting of these two worlds, city and country, in one idea. It's a delight to look at. It's going to modify many, many, many things we do. And for the materials, of course, that means that the materials are more rustic and more tactile. And this is why I'm so super happy with the rustic, rough finish of the porcelain of Caesarstone, because I think this is a very strong direction where it's still sophisticated, but it's also rustic. And that is a major new design direction. So I hope you will have a great moment of design and creation, that you are able to make beautiful, beautiful objects for your clients and customers. I have a friend, she's publishing a book next year about the neurological impact of beauty on our well-being. It's proven. So beauty now is necessary. So, hey, that's very hopeful for us, because not only are we going to make beautiful things, we are going to help people be and become. So that's a new calling of creativity.
Hello again. Well, I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed listening to Lee speak and also getting to gaze at her beautiful home and working spaces. Some key points that really jumped out at me were Lee's perspectives on the shift in our changing views of the home, particularly the kitchen. The idea that this highly functional space, no matter how expressive it might be of our personal sense of style, could be cozy enough to curl up and fall asleep in. I love this idea. Also, Lee's view on the hybrid between urban and rural, the meeting of city and country in one idea. In a country like Australia, given the impact of the past 2.5 years on population movement, this poses an exciting prospect for us as we look to balance out the realities of rural living with Australian city life. But enough reflecting on this. Having watched through Lee's presentation, it really became apparent to me that there are 3 paradigm shifts that not only deeply influence our lifestyle values and the way we want to live, but most importantly, the way we design for our clients. The first I want to talk about is the changing view of the home. It's no news that pandemic circumstances have greatly changed our living and working habits. In fact, shifted them in such a direction that they may never return to what they were before. And from many people's perspectives, that's not viewed as a bad thing. The amount of time we spend at home and together at home has significantly increased, hasn't it? It's widely recognised that a majority of people would opt to follow a hybrid working lifestyle, ideally 2 to 3 days in the office and the remainder at home. Locality has begun to drive our lifestyles. The logistics of travel strongly influence our want or need to return to the office versus working from home, and it poses the very real potential for the 15-minute city. This is essentially the idea that all your daily needs are served within a 15-minute proximity of your home. From a sustainability point of view, this micro-mobility approach is a no-brainer, that you might walk or bike from home to your groceries, to your neighbourhood studio or your co-working space. And it also feeds social and family well-being, being closer together, spending more time together. Back on the home front, this shift in lifestyle values has pushed our home spaces to become multi-purpose, or for want of a better word, hybrid. They've really been moulded into spaces that support a variety of functions and situations. Lee talks about the kitchen moving beyond being a working space, a canteen, to our other living spaces, and I find that an exciting prospect. Because I think what is playing out currently in Australia is very much the kitchen as the gathering point, but also the office space. When you think about it, the kitchen bench often doubles as a workbench with plenty of room for a laptop. Private nooks have been integrated into our open plan kitchen and living spaces. Our open plan living has been broken up by functional room dividers such as shelving. However, so much time spent at home, I think, has pushed us into seeking joy through expressive and often adventurous design aesthetics. And it really appeals to me that Lee thinks that Australia has an avant-garde aesthetic. I think it kind of hits the mark. There's a greater awareness among consumers for the power of finishes, fittings and fixtures to bring character and class into spaces such as the kitchen, and a curiosity for innovation that makes them seek out new and innovative solutions, which enable them to express their personal aesthetic in a deeply integrated and very thoughtful way. One of the new approaches that I'm really enjoying seeing is this bespoke approach to design, creating layered palettes that put the emphasis on texture and materiality, as well as really fine detailing. And I want to share a project with you that really exemplifies this for me, which is Vine Street in Perth by State of Kin. This kitchen is very deeply integrated into the surrounding living space, to the point where it doubles as kitchen and dining space. Function is paramount and everything you see has a practical capacity, but the details are also exquisite with the walnut veneer and that beautiful curved coffee nook. Now I want to take you to this project called Stone Lodges in Kerala, India by Earthetex, and we very recently featured this in our magazine called Habitus. This is for me such a special example of bespoke design and handcrafting taken to the nth degree. Every room and space throughout the villa features bespoke elements and handcrafted finery. The kitchen shines as a central heart of the whole home, with even the smallest doorknob having been meticulously crafted. I also really love the finishes in this project, the earthy textures of stone on the kitchen benches, the walls also shaped from locally sourced stone. The next paradigm shift I want to talk to you about is wellness and our changing perception of wellness. When we talk about wellness, there's a couple of different aspects that come to mind. There's the hygiene aspect, particularly when it comes to material innovation and technological advancements. Then there's the well-being story, that feeding of the body, mind and spirit, health and happiness hand in hand. We have a heightened awareness of what it means to be well and put value on our personal well-being above all else. Not surprising, you can find well-being embedded into almost every element of our daily lives and our built environment. What I find fascinating is that depending on the context and the individual, wellness design principles and philosophies encompass both ends of the spectrum. On the one end, there's connectivity to nature and humans. And then on the other, there's this focus on seclusion, usually within nature and away from humans. But I think the common thing among all this is the striving to create a sense of comfort and calm, a sense of place and belonging, a moment of pause, inspiration, reflection. Foremost in this is the connection to outdoors. It's considered to be fundamental to our health and well-being as human beings. I have here 3 very delicious well-being ideas that cover off all ends of the spectrum, and I'm going to show them to you now. First, I want to take you to Thailand and this gorgeous outdoor bath. You'll find this holiday cabin in the mountains of Thailand. The living space, kitchen, and open air deck on the lower floor offer a very pared back version of relaxed and secluded living. The outdoor tub adds a balance of essential luxury. Semi-sunken, you can soak while watching the stars, exposed to all the elements, fully immersed in nature, caught between water and the natural materials. Then I want to take you to Melbourne with Market Lane by Ellen Berg-Fraser. So this project was conceived pre-pandemic by Ellen Berg-Fraser with Hickory Group. Market Lane is an example of salutogenic principles at work, a building that is both destination and workplace, deeply integrating nature, fitness, productivity, and leisure. It has a notably biophilic approach with a vast atrium lung at its core and devil's ivy creeping along its steel trellis. The meeting rooms of Hickory's office are lozenge-shaped, self-contained glass pods positioned outside on the rooftop, entirely separate to the main built mass. Another thing that impressed me about this project was that the services are automatically monitored via app, and energy and water usage reports are made public to tenants, putting the power in their hands to minimise consumption. The last example I want to show you is a workplace for a major retailer in Victoria by Grey Park Sand. This working campus is the central support centre for this leading Australian retailer. The company's culture is very much grounded in its people, and it was set on cultivating a village life, really capturing that elusive quality you only get when you're working from home. There is ample connection to the outdoors from every aspect of this building, and a major part of the project is its cafe, designed to seat 250 people and open out to outdoor seating and an outdoor kitchen. I think design lead Dale O'Brien sums this setting up so well when he says, "It's just a place you want to be." We talk a lot about earning the commute and its amenity, such as this, which ticks the box in terms of feeling at home, feeling connected to the outdoors. The next thing I want to talk about is sustainability as the reigning imperative of our time. I'm no sustainability expert. However, what we do know is that more energy is expended during the manufacture, delivery and assembly of building materials than at any other point during a building's life cycle. From the architects' and designers' perspectives, it comes down to the materials, furniture and fittings we choose for our projects. It's about understanding that the right choices can vastly reduce the embodied carbon intensity of a building from very early design stage. As designers, the onus is on us to deeply integrate sustainable principles and practices into every project. What I'm observing is a rise in live conversations around things like circularity, thinking about materials' life cycles and their ability to be reused and renewed, ethical supply chains, as well as the transparency and integrity of information delivered into the hands of the consumer. However, to act and live sustainably is something that sits with each and every one of us as a responsibility to our planet and our futures, as I'm sure you all know. What really captures my imagination is the idea of passive sustainability, to design in such a way that a building or an interior environment might engender sustainable behaviour and render the act and the living both intuitive and almost effortless, as it should ultimately be. As my last example in this session, I want to take you to New Zealand and Team Green Architects' Passive House project. This is a 2-bedroom family home that's been designed using passive house principles. It's small, just 90 square metres, and with a low carbon footprint and reduced energy costs as a result. It's cleverly oriented to face the north sun, with the north wall almost completely glazed to capture all its free energy while also getting these beautiful horizon views. The build was built using limited waste, everything fit to size, and using cutting-edge technology to create a sustainable house which essentially delivers an equalised environment inside. And from all accounts, it's very well loved by the residents and very comfortable to live in. So that concludes my part of the presentation. And now I'd like to introduce you to Caesarstone's General Manager of Marketing, Bridie York, who is going to introduce us to Caesarstone's groundbreaking new porcelain collection and pebbles range. Over to you, Bridie.
2022 would be the biggest year in the history of Caesarstone. The brand is on a new course, taking a step in yet another direction. We are reinventing surface design again. We've always been known as the pioneers of quartz, inventing the category over 35 years ago. The brand is famous for designing and manufacturing beautiful surfaces. We're able to do this in 2 ways. Being able to meet your beautiful aesthetic design desires, as well as providing durable and hard-wearing products. As we say, it's where beauty meets performance. We have always humbly led the category, being trusted in over 2 million Aussie homes. We are incredibly grateful for that, and we thank you. Now, what is next for Caesarstone? We're taking what has made us famous in the past and channeling our design and manufacturing experience into another category, porcelain, that empowers you with even more design freedom. At the same time, as you would expect, we're launching a new quartz collection, the Pebbles collection, which is inspired by nature. Both of these exciting launches are wrapped up in our biggest announcement, leading again by offering lifetime warranty across all of our surfaces. This is a category first and further testament to the confidence and trust we have in our products. 2022 will see us excitingly launch into the porcelain category. Strengthened by our experience in quartz, imagine 35 years channeled into design. Porcelain means we make another leap forward in design, technology and functionality. It is a new point of view for the porcelain category. What sets the Caesarstone porcelain brand apart? Specifically, it's all of those great qualities you already know about the brand. It's our experience, it's our commitment to innovation and the quality of our product, and now backing it up with our lifetime warranty. Ultimately, it is the brand that makes the difference and stands us apart. Our product quality and design are all the elements that we're famous for. Especially from a designs perspective, we're advised by some of the best trend experts in the world, and you've just seen Lee Edelcourt and her team and her commitment to our brand. Our choice of this collection is not an accident. Our experience and cutting-edge know-how to create an aesthetically captivating surface while delivering durability, it really is where beauty meets performance. Our innovation is captured in 3 key areas: our forward design, our fortified frame, and our high heat structure. Let's talk about the forward design. In this collection, you'll see wonderful tangible textures that are now available due to the nature of this manufacturing process. The collection has striking colour schemes, bolder veins, richer colours and bolder designs. We have beautiful honed and ultra rough surfaces that further accentuate the design. Now let's talk about the fortified frame. This is an incredibly hard wearing surface. It's incredibly resistant to scratches, pressures and rupture. Porcelain is able to stand up to the most demanding high volume use. It's highly durable and well suited for both the kitchen and the outdoor environment. So now let's talk about the high heat structure. It is incredibly resistant to high temperatures, which enables direct contact with heated objects. It's UV resistance also for outdoor use, and it has this wonderful ability to be able to transcend from indoor to outdoor as part of your design. And product quality. For us at Caesarstone, it's always been about the quality. Over the last few months, we've had the opportunity to partner with our fabricator community who have worked and tested our porcelain. The results and the feedback have been impressive in terms of quality and given us a high degree of comfort to go to the market. Our porcelain sheets have a fiberglass mesh backing, which is somewhat unique, that further guarantees superior strength and durability. Now let's talk a little bit about the range. We will deliver the porcelain range in the usual Caesarstone signature way, using natural raw materials manufactured meticulously through the innovative design process. It's a combination of these details and structures that make these designs realistic and natural. We'll be launching with a range of 17 new colours which are available now. It really does complement our quartz range. We have a deluxe, supernatural and supernatural ultra range. The range differs from beautiful nature-inspired designs through to light granite and travertines. Conversely, you've got more industrial concretes and cement-like designs with tactile finishes to really embody the urban trend. Now let's pivot to quartz. We are calling it a stepping stone to a sustainable kitchen. We are drawing all of our inspiration from nature, with the humble pebble being the hero and the muse for our latest collection. There is no doubt post-pandemic, our appreciation for the outdoor world has grown considerably. We're seeing current design trends revolve around natural material, earthy tones and sustainable products. There is a definite move, quite simply, to reflect nature and bring the outside in. Pebbles is the connection to the outside world, plant and nature inspired, bringing the nature indoors. The Pebbles collection is different and deliberate. It is a unique approach to the usual vein work surfaces that you see from Caesarstone. So they are subtle, organic and humble designs. They're incredibly versatile, and what's great about them is they suit a variety of different kitchens, taking you from contemporary right through to classic. And the Pebbles collection comprises of 4 new colours: Rivulet, Windigo, Rain Dream and Agate Grey. From Rivulet being reminiscent of pebbles from the shore, to Windigo with warm earth gradients and a spectacular honed finish. Rain Dream and Agate both embodying beautiful grey smoky bases with clay undertones. The Pebbles collection brings the connection between the natural world and the brand's commitment to sustainability. It is a collection of sustainable surfaces. In this collection, we have transformed the ratio of the product's natural raw materials to make our surfaces more sustainable. Caring for the planet is no coincidence. Our brand needs and will be an ambassador for sustainability, working with leading sustainability organisations in the green building sector as part of our sustainability leadership. This includes certifications to our manufacturing site and supporting our customers' needs for green and healthy building products. This is all reflective in our ESG report, which highlights the many changes we have made and continue to make to create even more sustainable products. What a year! 2022 will be the biggest year in the history of the brand, as we transform the brand into a true market-leading multi-material player. We are also bringing a new point of view with the launch into the porcelain category with 17 cutting-edge designs. And at the same time, we're providing the stepping stone to a more sustainable kitchen with the release of the Pebbles collection, going back to nature, all underpinned by our commitment to the brand, the introduction of lifetime warranty, the very first in the category, which is just further testament to the confidence and trust we have in the brand.